Hi friends, Kevin here with Tovolo di Brumana. On today's episode, we're going to be making Boeuf Bourguignon, or beef burgundy. It's just a beef stew in a wine sauce. It sounds fancy, and it kind of is, but ultimately, it's just a beef stew in a wine sauce. That's it. No matter the occasion, this dish is sure to impress whoever's at your dinner table. Today we're making Ina Garten's version of this recipe. At some point I will make Julia Child's classic version of Boeuf Bourguignon, but that recipe is so labor intensive. In the oven, out of the oven, lid on, lid off, boil, simmer, temperature up, temperature down. Ain't nobody got time for that, Julia. Not all of us are 1950s housewives. Today we're christening my new Le Creuset Dutch oven, which is a gift from my brother and his family. You don't need a Dutch oven to make this recipe, it just helps. Any oven-safe pot with a tight-fitting lid will do. You want to just choose something that has a little bit of thicker walls. It's going to help with the heat distribution and keep the stew from getting too hot. Remember, this recipe is all about slow cooking to break down the meat and make it tender and juicy and delicious. This recipe takes about 2 to 3 hours to make, depending on how fast you can prep your vegetables and the doneness of your beef. As with any recipe, you want to read the directions all the way through so that you make sure that you're not surprised or you leave anything out. The first step in our recipe is to take the beef out of the fridge about 30 to 45 minutes before you want to use it. This is going to help the beef relax and keep it from seizing when you start to cook, which is going to make it tough and chewy. You will need about 2.5 pounds of chuck beef, chuck roast, chuck steak. My market calls it stew meat. If your grocery store will cut it for you, have them cut it into 1-inch cubes. They come pre-cut in my store. When you take your meat out of the fridge, pat the cubes down with paper towels to remove any excess moisture. Sprinkle them with salt and pepper and set them aside while you work on your vegetables. Cut 1 pound of carrots diagonally into 1-inch chunks. Slice 2 yellow onions. You'll need 2 teaspoons of chopped garlic, about 2 cloves. Don't waste your time peeling your garlic before chopping. Simply cut off the butt and smash it with the flat side of your knife. Then it comes right out of the peel. Then dice 8 ounces of bacon. Preheat your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Over medium heat, pour a tablespoon of olive oil into your Dutch oven. Add your bacon and cook until crispy. Using a slotted spoon, remove the bacon to a plate. Working in batches so you don't crowd the pot, add your beef, browning each side for a few minutes. Place them on the same plate as your bacon. Don't you dare think about throwing away that bacon fat and beef drippings. We're going to use it to cook our carrots and onions. Add your carrots and onions all at once, adding 1 tablespoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of pepper. It sounds like a lot of salt, but it is a big stew. My dinner guests said that it could have used a little more salt, so there you have it. Cook the onions and carrots for about 15 minutes until the onions start to brown. I took a call, and so you don't see me add in the garlic, but you're going to add that in the last minute of cooking the onions. You don't want to burn the garlic by adding it too soon. Now comes the fun part, the flambe. A lot of people are afraid of flaming foods, but if you plan ahead, you don't have to be afraid. So before you add in your cognac, you want to have your match or your lighter or whatever you're using ready. I take my match out of the box and it's sitting there so that all I have to do is just strike that match and it goes. The longer you let that cognac or whatever alcohol you're flaming sit in the pot and boil, the more fumes are going to be in the air, which means you're going to have a bigger flame. Or if you let it boil out too much, you'll have 0 flame. Don't be afraid and don't skip this step. It really does add to the flavor of the stew. It's not just some show-off move that we're going to do, although it does make for a really great video. Add half a cup of cognac and then immediately light your match. Let the alcohol burn off, and when your flames have died out, add your beef and bacon into the pot. Make sure you get all of those juices in there too. Give it a quick stir, and then you're going to pour in an entire bottle of dry red wine. A Côte de Rhône or Pinot Noir will work the best. Don't use cooking wine for this recipe. No sir, not today, Satan. It doesn't have to be an expensive bottle of wine. It just has to be something that you wouldn't mind sitting down and drinking a glass of. Remember, whatever you choose is going to be a big taste profile for this stew. So if you don't enjoy drinking it, you're not going to enjoy eating it. I guarantee you. A tablespoon of tomato paste. Add about 2 cups of beef broth, just enough to almost cover the beef. 1 teaspoon fresh thyme leaves. If you don't have fresh, use half a teaspoon of dried thyme. Bring your stew to a simmer and cover it with a tightly fitted lid and place it in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes or until your meat is tender. While your stew is in the oven, you can prepare your side dishes. I paired this dish with roasted Brussels sprouts and mashed cauliflower. I'll post those videos later this week. When you put your stew in the oven, take 4 tablespoons of butter out of the fridge and bring to room temperature. Prepare a pound of fresh mushrooms. Ina says to remove the stems. I didn't. Roughly chop the mushrooms. I did some in quarters and some in thick slices. It's completely up to you. About 10 minutes before the stew is done, saute the mushrooms with 2 tablespoons of the butter until lightly browned. When the stew comes out of the oven, combine the remaining butter with 3 tablespoons of flour with a fork and add to the stew. Add a pound of frozen pearl onions. You could use fresh, but who wants to prepare a pound of pearl onions? In the words of Ina, store-bought is fine. Add in your mushrooms and bring the stew to a boil on the stovetop. Then lower the heat and simmer for 15 minutes. I toasted garlic sourdough that I brushed with olive oil that I had left over from when I confit some garlic. This is a hearty stew, so you don't need sides if you don't want them, but I do recommend having bread for all of those delicious juices. I love this dish, and I love this recipe. I'm sad that I don't have any leftovers to eat while I'm filming tonight. So, I guess I'm gonna have to make it again soon. I want to thank my brother, his wife, and my nieces, Hannah and Emma, for the Le Creuset and the other gifts that they sent that are going to be featured in future episodes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I really look forward to seeing when you guys make this dish at home. Now the big question, what do you guys want to see me make and eat? Any suggestions? Leave a comment below and I will be sure to work it into the schedule. Join me next week as we make date ice cream from Feast, Food of the Islamic World. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and share with all of your friends. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next week.